My grandparents died in a fire.
Oh my God.
What?
It's okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
This is Jay-Z crazy. Okay, I know maybe that wasn't the greatest way to start off a show. I'm not talking about recently. It happened a long time ago. You know what the weird thing is? I was telling a friend that my dad told me what happened to my grandparents. This happened way before I was born. I was always led to believe that my grandparents died in the fire at the same time. Mm-hmm. But I found where they're buried, and they died like 6 years apart, which doesn't really line up with what my dad said.
He's trying to scare you.
He might have lied to me. I don't know.
I think he was trying to scare you.
I think maybe one of them died in a fire, but it's always possible the other died in a separate fire. My grandparents might have had real bad luck.
Oh boy.
Anyway, that leads me to what we'll talk about. This fire blanket. Now, we were supposed to be on vacation. This was scheduled to be a vacation week. Now, if you look around carefully, you may notice we're not on vacation. Lisa's sick. She's not feeling well.
Got
She
a
has
fever.
Fever. What's your fever? I heard you just used the thermometer. What is it?
100.8.
She has a fever. Her eye's been hurting. Trust me, this was not a good week to go on vacation.
No.
Nobody would have had fun. So here we are. We're going to talk about my grandparents who
Died.
burned in a fire.
And a fire blanket. And why we got the fire blanket. So we
Lisa and I bought this fire blanket. When was it? It was like maybe 3 weeks ago
Yeah.
this came. Mm-hmm. Now, we have a fire extinguisher. We've had the same fire extinguisher for how long? For like 15 years.
Yeah.
The thing is probably dead. It doesn't work anymore.
I'm going to buy more of those.
So I was about to replace it, and then I found a fire blanket.
Yep.
I said, okay, we can get the fire extinguisher and the fire blanket.
And I'm going to get some more extinguishers and probably more of those blankets.
Now, apparently, all you do is take this out from the bottom. I don't want to do it now.
Yeah.
But supposedly it's reusable.
It is reusable.
So if you have super bad luck, like my grandparents, and you have multiple house fires,
That apparently kills you, and then
if they
6 years,
don't kill you,
you'll.
I guess you can reuse the fire blanket.
Yeah.
We have two of these. There's no need to drag both of them out here.
No.
They're the exact same thing.
I'm going to get 2 more of those.
You think we need 4
Yeah.
fire blankets?
Yeah.
So if you have even if you have a grease fire, if you have an electrical fire, I guess any kind of fire, this can be used. Now, if you have a grease fire, you don't put water on it.
No.
A lot of
make it
people
worse.
make that mistake because it'll make it worse. This
We'll put it out.
will put it out. This will suffocate it. A fire needs oxygen. If a fire doesn't have oxygen,
It can't.
It
won't-
dies.
Yeah, it dies.
right? So
I
that's
was-
the educational part of the show.
I want to.
That's what you get from us not being on vacation.
Yeah. An education.
You learned that my grandparents burned up, and you learned that you should get a fire blanket.
And I'm going to get one to go with our camping stuff. That's why I want to get more.
There's not much time left this season to go camping.
No, I mean, I just want to add it to our stuff. That's what I'm trying to tell you, regardless of when we go.
It's September 23rd. The campground closes October 15th.
Yeah.
Okay. Which also leads me to another thing. There's going to be a format change. I'll tell you why. We had Scammer Week the first week of September. The numbers went through the roof. Apparently, everybody loves those scammer calls. So there's going to be a lot more of that on this channel. Literally 10 times the amount of viewers tune in for the scammer calls than tune in to hear that my grandparents died in a fire.
Passed away.
Yeah. So, and those are fun too. Those are a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Those calls are a lot of fun. I had fun messing with those people.
I
And
did.
Lisa messes with them, you know. So you're still gonna get us. But this channel is just gonna change formats for a little while.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see how it works out. And if
Yeah.
it works out as good as it did the first week of September, then we're gonna keep doing the scammer calls.
Yeah.
We're gonna have, this is gonna be a scammer channel. It's going to be a in real life channel. We'll do live streams.
Yep.
We'll still do this every once in
and
a
travel.
while. And travel. That's what I'm looking forward to. So this channel is going to get crazier. It's not going to be me sitting at a kitchen table anymore. Well, once in a while,
Once in a while.
but not nearly as much. And another thing, the scammer calls, you're going to get those 7 days a week.
You'll get to listen to them
Yeah,
all week.
we've been taking 2 days off on weekends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I'm not even going to do that anymore. You'll get more of us. You're going to get 7 days a week until I get sick of doing that. But for a while, you should get 7 shows a week of scammer calls. And then every once in a while, we'll pop back in here and let you know how we're doing.
Yeah.
I didn't really talk about the fire blanket that much.
Nope.
There's really not much to talk about.
It's a fire
You
blanket.
have a fire, you pull this down, you take it out, you throw it over the fire, there you go. Fire should be out. It's as simple as that, really. There's not a lot to go into. I mean, I could start a fire.
No,
and we could
no,
test it out.
No, don't do that.
I really don't want to burn down the building.
Thank you.
My family may not have the best luck when it comes to fires.
But you know how to avoid that, right?
Now I know why my dad always seemed paranoid.
Right.
And he'd always keep checking our gas stove before he left the house.
Because 2 different grandparents died 2 different times with house fires. This is what I think happened.
I know he must have had undiagnosed OCD.
Definitely.
Okay, but this is way back when I was growing up. Things like that weren't really talked about as
No.
much. I know my parents must have had anxiety. My mom would always tell me, don't make me nervous.
That's the same thing.
But she never described it as anxiety.
She didn't know what it was.
And my dad, I know he was a bundle of nerves. He would check the stove multiple times. He'd drive my mother crazy. My mother was all nervous, but even that was too much for her. And then sometimes he'd come back inside the house and he'd check the stove again.
Jeez.
And then he'd have to check the locks multiple times. There's no doubt my dad had OCD.
Okay, this sounds like my dad.
I didn't even know what OCD was back then.
My dad did the same thing that your dad did. He would check the locks constantly, not
But
the
I can
stove.
see why he was nervous about things.
Oh, yeah.
There were
There was
his
a-
parents who
Yes.
died in the fire. Mm-hmm. Fires.
Plural.
Still not sure on that story.
I think it's fires, plural, because they died separately, years apart from each other.
I'm guessing they died separately in a fire. I
Yeah.
know they died separately.
Yeah. I'm going to go with fire.
It's so weird. My dad said, yeah, your grandparents died in a fire.
He lumped them together because it's probably the same thing happened. It's just separate. So he
My
was
grandparents, they must have been extremely uncareful. I don't know. How did they both die in a fire at separate times? I know one was a house fire.
right.
What happened to my grandmother after? I don't even know what order. I think my grandfather died, and then I think it was my grandmother, even though my dad said they died in a fire. Always thought they would died at the same time.
Clearly not.
Now, if they had one of these,
Oh, forget it. They'd be alive at the when
I
you
would
were
have
a
been
kid.
able to meet them.
Yeah.
They both died so many years before I was even born. I bet you they wish they would have met me if they were still around. I mean, you know, just so they could have seen what their grandson's like. Sure, they would have been very, very proud.
Proud of you.
I mean, who wouldn't be proud of me? I mean, I only wish my parents would have lived long enough to see this every day.
do you think that your parents would be saying? Look at my son.
They probably would have said something like, "We knew something was wrong with you."
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're out of here.
All right.
So I told you about the fire blanket. I
Yep.
told you why we're not on vacation.
Yep.
And I told you that this channel is expanding formats.
Yes.
And it's going to be
Adding.
less of me sitting at a table. There'll be
more.
less of Lisa because there'll be less of me sitting at a table.
But we'll still hear us because we're on the phone with the scammers.
Once the views pop up and we're making a ton of money, then the travel stuff starts happening. Let me tell you, this channel, it's only getting started, which seems weird, seeing I've been doing this since 2015. So it sounds very weird. It's a very slow start.
It's okay.
But we're not going anywhere.
Well done.
Where are we going to go? What, are we going to die in a fire? Oh, I better not say that.
Don't say that. Don't jinx us.
I get nervous with you using the stove. Now, I probably get that from my dad. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
No, I'm always paranoid of a fire. You leave stuff on that stove sometimes and it's done, and you have headphones on in the other room. That could be a reason why I get a little nervous. That thing's beeping for like 2 minutes sometimes.
It doesn't.
And you're oblivious.
But when it's beeping, it's not. It's no longer cooking anything. You
I
understand?
know, but I'm still.
It'll-
It's like you don't pay attention sometimes. That makes me a little nervous. My dad, if he was alive, he would say, "You better pay attention to what you're cooking. My parents died in a fire."
I would explain to him that it has an automatic shut off.
He would say, "You got to be careful anyway because my parents died in a fire."
I'm sure their fire had nothing to do with a stove that has an automatic
And then he would tell
thing.
you they both died at the same time.
Yeah, and then I would go to their grave and see that they died 6 years apart.
It's not explainable by me.
No, because
I don't know
you don't know.
what's going on about anything.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So we'll be back tomorrow as long as
I don't die?
Lisa doesn't croak, as long as we don't die in a fire, as long as no tragedies happen in the next 24 hours. We'll be back tomorrow.
Can you guarantee that?
I can't guarantee anything.
All right, good to know.
Okay?
Okay.
I thought we were going on vacation.
I'm sorry.
Almost brought a green screen in here because I thought it would have been funny to have some kind of background behind me like we actually went on vacation.
Maybe we can do that another time.
Didn't even take the green screen out of the bag. Didn't even set that up because it's getting late now.
Yeah, it's too late for it.
I need a little bit of time. So unprepared.
It's okay.
By the way, did you buy your bucket of emergency food yet? Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy?
Why are you asking me?
No,
Oh.
I'm asking them. Because on Friday, we were talking about the emergency
I remember.
bucket of food.
Yeah, I remember that.
You had all weekend to buy your emergency bucket of food.
Did you?
Did you buy it yet? What the hell is taking you so long? Trying to help you. A lot of people feel like something weird is going to go down after the election.
I think that too. I'm counted in those people.
Because if Trump wins, there's going to be pissed off people.
If Kamala
If Kamala wins, there's going to be a bunch of pissed off people. That's all I'm saying. Just buy your buckets of food. This has been Jay-Z crazy.